I was thinking about this week to talk about, and that was kind of about inspiration, and kind of what brings about the motivation and inspiration for our books. I know some of you guys have shared that before, and some of it is more academic or like research based, and some things are more from God, the Spirit, and what He's giving you and speaking. And I was reading a book that made me think about that. And Sarah, I'm glad you're here because I thought about you because it was talking about like what enters your mind first when you're thinking of like a book or something you want, not necessarily even a book, but just something, an idea to maybe write about. Some people first have like a feeling, like some kind of something strikes them. There's like a nudge, maybe call it a nudge or something, whether it's from the Holy Spirit or just some other connection in the world. There's like a nudge, and you have this like thing you want to follow. And then some of us also might have like an image, like you either see something that makes you inspired and you want to like explore that more and write about it, and you see an image like in real life or like a, you know, in print or some kind of a picture, and it just inspires you to put words to it. So I feel like at some point those kind of go together. Like you might need like the feeling and then have some kind of an imagery, or if you have the imagery, you might need the nudge. But it's kind of like the chicken and egg kind of a question: which one comes first? I'd be interested if that's different for different people. Um, and I would guess that it would be different based on things I've heard Sarah talking a lot about. So I think for me, I feel like it is the image, which is kind of odd because I'm a really words based kind of a person, but there can be something that I see or experience and just kind of as a prompt to be like, oh, that's interesting to like explore more and think about. Two books that I've worked on. I have had a writing partner, and we wrote a book together called Tattooed by Jesus. And it's the story of a woman who grew up in a really difficult family life situation, really poor and abusive, and no mention of Jesus. Like faith was not a part of their life. So it's her story of all that she went through. And then she and her husband became Christians, like in a really powerful way. And um, then together they started just ministering to people around them. They still lived in kind of a lower income area of our town, and started just reaching out to families around them and kids and just being available to be used by God. And they started uh, ministry slash church slash coffee shop, kind of a place called the Jesus House. And so the book is just kind of it is her whole story of her life and coming to Christ and starting that. And then we wrote a follow-up book called Stories from the Jesus House, which is more focused on like each chapter is a different person or family or situation that the Jesus House affected, like people who came and how they were ministered to. There's some pretty powerful, cool stories that happened of what God did through that ministry. So it was just telling about that. So those are the two books that I've written, and then I've also used to be a newspaper, have a newspaper column here in town. There was a ministry called Hearts at Home, and was mainly focused on women and mothers and all different aspects of that. And Faith was a Christian-based organization. So did a monthly newspaper column for that, like associated with them. So that was fun. Um, Started working on a true crime book. So that one has had some different things come up and still hasn't been published yet, but that took a lot of time too. So those are just a few. And I should clarify because I said that I see things in images, and maybe like the newspaper columns would be more of like a thought like in that vein, but like the books were definitely more nudging. So I guess there's both. The nudging of this woman's story was really interesting, and God wanted, well, actually, she wanted to share it, and God used us together to make that happen.